Okay, Torah Tetzaveh, page Pei Aleph, beginning of a Tetzaveh. The pasuk says, "V'ata Tetzaveh b'nei Yisrael." You should command you Moshe Rabbeinu should command the Yidden. They should take the oil to you, outside of the perechet, which is where the Aron is. Aaron should set up the candles every day. So basically the pasuk says, command the Yidden, they should bring the oil to Moshe Rabbeinu for Aaron to set up the menorah. The mitzvah is for Aaron to kindle, to light the menorah. So the mashma should reveal Hashem and Moshe. Why did they have to bring the oil to Moshe if Aaron did it? It should say, bring the oil to Aaron. What's like going to middleman over here? The pasuk Rishin Gaba v'yikchoy lechol Moshe ksiv lahadles ner tamid. Another question is, when it speaks about to Moshe Rabbeinu, it says lahales ner tamid, to light a continuous flame. Now, continuous flame literally means 24/7. That's what continuous means. Yet, in the second pasuk, when it says about Aaron setting up the menorah, it says me erev ad baiker levad, only evening to morning, not during the day. So there seems to be a contradiction between the two psukim. One pasuk says continuous, which is 24/7. Another pasuk says only at night. Now, simply the Mefarshim say Tamid means every night. But obviously, the Alter Rebbe is going deeper into this concept. Chayinyan says, Aaron is the accompaniment of the queen, the source of Neshamas Yisrael, Kikol Yisrael. Meaning like this. Moshe Rabbeinu is called Shusterman, the king, and Aaron is called the accompaniment of the queen, which is the sphere of Malchus, which is the source of all the Shamas Yisrael, come from the level of Malchus. The Aaron is Shushvina Lahem, and Aaron is their accompaniment. What does it mean, accompaniment? Kamei al derech Moshe. Chosim, where's Shushvina? We know Shushvina is by a wedding when they walk down the Chosim and Kala. Shushvina means literally accompaniment. Shushvina refers to by a chasana, when the parents or whoever it is walk the chosin and the kala down, that's called shushvinin in halacha. So he says, aderech mos chosin v'kala shetrich and shushvinin leichim bohem. He says they need accompaniment, and Alter Rebbe says why. Interesting. Alter Rebbe explains what's the reason for this custom. Why can't the chosin and kala just walk down themselves? He said, "Fishiyev shalom leilech ba'atzmam." Because they're like embarrassed. The young couple walking down themselves. So you need help to support them. That's really the Rebbe mentioned this many times also. It depends who holds them. See, in Chabad the custom is the two fathers take the chosin, the two mothers take the kala. Most people, the father and mother, take each one. So then it depends who's holding him, for what reason. So it is in the unity of Neshamas in their source. So now the question is so what does it mean? Aaron is the accompaniment and Moshe is the accompaniment. Like, what does it mean for the Neshamas Yisrael? So he said, because the Neshama don't have kayach by themselves to go, they need Aaron and Moshe's help. That's what it means. Ein lem kayach mitzad atzmam. Rakai de bechinas Aaron, only through Aaron, shushvin and the lahain, which is the accompaniment of the Yidden. In other words, just like the shushvinin is to support the chosin and kala, Aaron is to support the Neshamas Yisrael. He says, Zel k'mei inyan ha-shushvinin al derech Moshe. When do you have the shushvina? At the time of the chuppah, you have the shushvina. You don't need shushvina anymore after the chuppah. They don't have shushvina after the chuppah. I mean, they have a mother-in-law, but not. That's only one. When is the shushvina of Aaron? There's the level of B'yichinas Yem Chasanusei B'yem Simchas Libay. When is the chasana between? When is the chasana between the Yidden and Hashem? That's at the time of Matan Torah. Simcha shel ma'alam is gal min shamas Yisrael, and that's the simcha from above. In the shamas samech libam b'Hashem hasheichem b'teirosim v'avidosim. When Hashem is coming down by Har Sinai to reveal Torah, make him happy, v'avidosh tzarich li'simcha. That all the curses come out on the Yidden. The pasuk says in the Teichacha. Doesn't say because they didn't keep mitzvahs. It's because he didn't serve Hashem with simcha. So who? So in other words, like this: on the day of Matan Torah, Hashem came down to the Yidden. Now, which means that day of Matan Torah, which is daily, by the way, has to be in a level of simcha. So Aaron HaKohen, which is the Shvinim, the support person of the Kala of the Yidden, so they need Aaron to help them with the simcha. Ubesimcha zuhu sheshvinim. Okay? So he says like this. What help? He says basically, just like the sheshvinim, the accompaniment of the Chassan and Kala, is to support them. Aaron's accompaniment of the Yidden, that he's called sheshvinim, the Matrunusa, is to help the Yidden. What is their help? That they should have the level of simcha. But should to have simcha. And he says, well, Inyan, what is the Inyan, what's he explaining? So Inyan is like this. Hine simcha zu, this simcha of Matan Torah, this simcha of Aaron HaKohen helping is machmas Ein Sof, Baruch Hu Makar HaChaim, because the infinite level of Hashem, the source of all life, Makar HaTainugim, the source of all pleasures, Hamalubish b'mitzvahs, that comes into mitzvahs. In other words, what's the simcha of mitzvahs? That this super infinite, great level of Elokus, basically in simple English, the essence of Hashem, comes in to the physical mitzvah that a simple Jew does. A simple mitzvah connects him to the essence of Hashem. And that's the simcha. But he uses the expression here that Hashem is the source of all pleasures. Meaning like this. Everything in the world comes from Hashem. That's a given. Wisdom in the world comes from the wisdom of Hashem. It's understood, which is Torah, by the way. The source of all pleasures in the world, physical pleasures, forbidden pleasures, permissible, whatever it may be, any pleasure, obviously comes from the level of pleasure of Hashem. The difference is the pleasure of Hashem in Kedusha is the way he comes into Torah mitzvahs, the way the tainug that Hashem gets by Yidden doing Torah mitzvahs. From there it comes down, even into the level of evil. Okmesha calls it like we say, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav. Now simply, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav means which he commanded us with his, sanctified us with his mitzvahs. But Asher comes from the word Asher, Asher, the name, the Shevet Asher. Asher Lashon Taina Gadol Ki Yishruni Banis. Rashi says Asher means pleasure. So what does it mean? Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav. Not only that he sanctified us with his mitzvahs, it's a level of tainug that he sanctified us with his mitzvahs. Asher Kiddishanu, it's a level of tainug. Ad lahalo, to the extent of praise. Kamei ba'ashri ki yishruni banis, which is the lashon simcha, v'hilul, and praise, al raiv tev, an abundance of good. So in other words, what do we say, Asher Kiddishanu b'mitzvaysav? What is the bracha? That the fact that Hashem gave us the ability to connect to the not only infinite level of Hashem, but the essence of Hashem, that's a tremendous joy. It should be a tremendous joy. And it should be something worth praising.
If you reach it.
Every time you do a mitzvah, you reach it. Not reach it. Every time you do a mitzvah, you reach it.
You want to reveal it?
Whether we like it or not.
Rabbi,
What?
we say that everything in the world has a source of positive,
Of Kedusha.
kedusha.
Of course.
And it is up to us if we turn it to the right and the left.
Correct.
Is that true?
100%. You got it. Toyota. You got it.
says, Asher. So all of a sudden you went from down, it became Tanu?
No. How is this Ata coming into Havaya, Elokeinu, into Melech HaOlam? Because of the Tainug Hashem has by commanding us to do the mitzvah. That's exactly what the bracha is saying. Why are we Mamsha, Baruch, bringing down the level of Ata, which is even higher than Havaya, which is even higher than Elokeinu? And it comes into Melech HaOlam, into the physical, gashmistical world, is because it's Hashem's Tainug to come down through mitzvahs. That's exactly what it means. So, in other words, like we said many times, the Friedrich Rebbe says in a Maimil, in Kuntreis, in Mandas, he says there are many different levels of pleasure. Okay? There's the pleasure of eating and sleeping. There's the pleasure of music. There's the pleasure of people like doing chesed. People that like to do chesed enjoy doing chesed. Then you have, believe it or not, people that enjoy seichel. These are all different levels of tainug, yeah? The ultimate one...
What is the intimacy?
Well, hakachayim.
Intimacy is
That's part of eating and sleeping. Eating and sleeping.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Eating and sleeping.
Okay, shh. Anyway, and then you have the ultimate pleasure of tainug and elukus. Now, the lowest, obviously, eating and sleep, which animals do. More refined is music. I left out music. After eating and sleeping, he said, is music. Then mides. Then seichel. Then tainug eluki. Now, you can't compare a human being in a level of a human being, in the refinement of a human being. They're all pleasures. If a human being has a pleasure of eating and sleeping only, versus an intellectual that has pleasure out of it, can you compare the refinement of the individuals? You can't. This guy's a behemoth, and this guy's a human being. Correct? So now, will somebody say, no, I only like eating and sleeping, I don't want to go anything more? The guy's if that's the case, he's a behemoth. Actually, because that's the pleasure behemoth has. Right? So a person has to be more refined. The ultimate refinement is when a person has tainug and elukus. Now, explain that to a guy that fresses and puffs and that's it, and he's only interested in that. But that doesn't make him a better person because he thinks this is the ultimate goal. If you look at the total picture of humanity, even forget Yiddish, forget godliness for a minute. Push it in, a scientist. The great scientists that discovered a lot of medical things, they were not into Gashmias. I mean, you read about it, you hear about it. These guys didn't eat, they didn't sleep, they slept on the floor. That wasn't their enjoyment. He says that the tainug that of a lakus, that a person should be happy and praising Hashem, that thank God He gave us the ability to do these mitzvahs and connect to His essence, that's real pleasure. A guy will say, eating and sleeping is better. Yeah, if you're a behemoth, eating and sleeping is better.
But with eating and sleeping, you touch it. It's there. You're eating, you're sleeping, it's there.
Yeah, that's why the Gemara says, a chacham b'reyas ha'neilad. A chacham sees the future, not the tangible now. Because a guy that likes a certain food, but it makes him sick for a week afterwards. So he'll eat it. So an idiot will eat it now for 10 minutes, he'll have enjoyment, and then he'll suffer for a week. Why would an idiot do that? Because he only knows the now, he only knows the tangible. Right now, the food is good. The illness is not tangible yet.
You're all guilty of that.
Speak for yourself. It's all the person. It's only tangible. But that's a shaita. A chacham doesn't look at the tangible. He sees the outcome of the now rather than the tangible. That's even, when the Gemara says Chacham Eretz doesn't mean Torah Chacham, it means Pashut, a wise person. Doesn't look at the tangible necessarily. The tangible might look good now, but it's going to make you sick. Correct? So he looks at the non-tangible because he sees he looks at the whole picture. A Chacham sees the whole picture. Why are tzaddikim called Einei Ha'eda, the eyes of the community? Because they see the whole total picture of the now, the past, present, and future. So they see it. A regular person doesn't see it. That's why they're not called Einei Ha'eda. We are called the Regel, Sheish Meis Elef Ragli. We are called the feet because we have no seichel. We don't understand. So he says, ultimately, if a person understands, you invest money now, and eventually, I'll give you the mashal the Gemara gives. But Chenia Magel, came and saw a guy planting a carrot tree. Yeah, so he said to him, why are you planting a carrot tree? It takes 70 years to make. He says, you see these trees here, these carrot trees? You know why we have them today? Because my parents and grandparents planted them for us. So I'm planting it for the next generation. Yeah? Now, he was a smart guy because he looked at the future. And he understood from the past that the present is based on the past. Yeah? Nechenia Mago fell asleep for 70 years, the whole story in the Gemara Tainus. Yeah? What the Goyim used for Rip Van Winkle. It's a story of Nechenia Mago in the Gemara. Okay, so what's the Vart? The Vart is now, you're a fool. Why are you working now for nothing? The answer is it's not for nothing. It's for, you're not going to see it for who knows how many years. But that's a normal, intelligent person. A person does Torah mitzvahs. They might not see it now, but like we said, it's munaf makufse. It's in a trust fund. You know that you're going to get it. Mashiach comes, we're all going to get it. So that's the difference between, and that's why he says Asher Kidshanu b'mitzvaysav, that it's lashon ashri, the lashon of enjoyment and pleasure, and therefore also to praise Hashem, thanking Hashem that He gave us the mitzvah, because that's the etzim tainug.
When you say when we do mitzvah, we bring God down.
Right.
Can you quantify it? Because if I bring God down, so there's nothing left for God down. Or if some part of God comes down.
If I light a candle from another candle, the first candle diminishes?
No, but you say you bring him down, period. That's what you said. So what's left there?
Let me ask you a question. If somebody has one child,
Yes.
do they love him with all their heart? Okay. Now they have 2 kids. Now it's only 50-50? Yeah? How many kids do you have?
3.
So each kid only has a third of your love?
If I dedicate all my love.
I didn't say time. I said love.
How much do you love
Each kid only has a third of your love. You only love each kid a third?
There is that much emotions you
We have a
have.
So in other words, that when you have the second kid, you love the first kid less.
That's happened.
You need
Whoa.
That's exactly happened.
patient.
You know, when I had my
Thank God you only had 3 kids.
Rabbi, when I had my 3rd daughter, I did not go to her cribs for a long time because I did not want my love for my second child to diminish, and it happened eventually. It does. There's that much you have. Share which one you have today.
One time, the
You love coffee.
Torah, lo b'shuftin askin, and Torah al reiv tedabit, and that's it.
You love coffee also. Only love one